What if I told you that there's a secret problem lurking in something like 30 to 40% of buildings that's wasting almost a third of the energy and secretly destroying the building from the inside out? What's worse is that this problem goes on for years or decades because nobody knows it's happening. It's called a return line leak. To understand it, we need to go back to the basics. Buildings are heated by a central heating system, often called a boiler. You can think of a boiler like a giant pot of water on the stove. You burn oil or gas to heat that pot of water, and steam rises and goes up a pipe that goes through every apartment in the building and ultimately ends up back at the boiler. The beauty of this system is that it's actually really efficient. That hot water only needs to be reheated just a little bit to become steam again, and then the process starts over. Except sometimes that pipe springs a leak. That leak is called a return line leak. Occasionally you'll see it. You'll see a giant pool of water, you know you need to fix it. But more often than not, that leak happens underground and nobody ever sees it or knows it's happening. Something like 30% of a building's energy usage might come from a single return line leak. Why is this so expensive? The reason is that when that water goes out, not only do you have to pay for a ton of new water to replace it, but that new water is ice cold. You might have to heat it from 30 or 40 degrees up to 212 degrees. That's a ton of water and a ton of energy being wasted. You're going from super hot water to super cold water, hot water, cold water, and it's stretching the metal boiler. As it stretches, eventually that boiler will break, and that can cost millions of dollars. The good news is that smart controls now use water meters to figure out how much water is being replaced every day. If you know that a ton of water is being replaced, that's how you know you have a return line leak. We could reduce building carbon output and energy costs by something like 10% simply by just fixing return line leaks. The trick is just knowing those leaks are there in the first place.